Life is full of trade-offs. We are constantly weighing the importance of options and decisions. The same is true in the business world. Resources are limited: time, money, people. So trade-offs seem inevitable. However, sometimes we can fall into a trap of assuming the trade-offs are obvious. By falling into this trap, we let complacency dictate the options we consider: time versus cost, speed of delivery versus quality of delivery, service levels versus cost of service. These are some of the more obvious trade-offs, but the trade-offs do not need to be obvious. The trade-off challenge tool helps you demand excellence by ensuring your options go past the obvious trade-offs. Let's take a look. To start, when developing your options, I want you to always have at least 3 credible options to consider. The options should each have a different look and feel and not just a small tweak of difference between each. For each option, I want you to note the problem statement, success definition, and obvious trade-off. These will be the same across all options. The problem statement should be a concise statement that gets to the heart of the problem. The success definition should paint a picture of what the environment will look and feel like once the option is in place. Don't shortchange the success definition. You always want to strive for customer excitement instead of settling for customer satisfaction. The obvious trade-off should be the most obvious trade-off that comes to mind after laying out the problem statement and success definition. Keep it simple. For each option, lay out the cost benefit, delivery timeline, and trade-off. Ideally, the cost benefit should use metrics and facts. If these are not available, then be as specific as possible. The delivery timeline should include a few major milestones in addition to the ultimate delivery date. The trade-off should note the item you are sacrificing with the option. For 2 of the options, it may be one or the other of the obvious trade-off. At least one option should have a trade-off that is not one of the obvious trade-offs. I love using this tool as a way to constantly challenge the team to disrupt itself. Even high-performing teams that show immense creativity can fall into relying on the tried and true. The tried and true was once the latest and greatest new thing developed using creative thinking and challenging the norms. Yes, the very same team that pushed the envelope could fall into the trap of relying on that ingenuity for too long. Unfortunately, the world is changing at an accelerating pace. We are able to rely on past ingenuity for less and less time until we start falling behind. Maybe you are working on the next product release and are faced with the trade-off between new features customers are demanding and rising costs. The trade-off seems obvious, but use the trade-off challenge to push your team to explore other ways of delivering more features for less. Maybe there is a new delivery methodology that you never got around to trying. Or maybe you can negotiate better rates with contractors using leverage from another part of your organization. Or maybe you are exploring options to change organization process and you see obvious trade-offs between quality controls and speed of delivery. The trade-off challenge may help you explore options that allow you to maintain quality, reduce controls, and increase speed of delivery by organizing teams around the work or by leveraging new automation tools. The point here is to provide the team with a framework that encourages them to challenge the norms and use the creativity you know they have. The trade-off challenge is also a great way to get more information on the table. Sometimes when we are exploring options, we may not have a full view of other perspectives. When developing options based on limited information, we may assume the obvious trade-offs are absolute. This almost always is not the case. We just need to dig a bit deeper to uncover options. By forcing the team to challenge the obvious trade-offs, they should go back to their customers or stakeholders or partners to ask questions. Ask questions to bring more information to the table. This works well in any negotiation. Maybe you have stakeholders who seem to be unreasonable in their demands. Asking follow-up questions on their concerns while assuring them you are there to help may uncover what their true absolute must-haves are. Or maybe you are in intense negotiations with a vendor for services. You both have been negotiating over email and through legal and procurement departments with very little progress. Asking questions and exploring options does not mean you need to give up your position or leverage. Asking the right questions may help you find an alternate trade-off. You might find that the vendor is upcharging a scarce resource while that skill set is easy to find in your organization. Taking that service out might bring the contract back in line with expectations and provide for an easier delivery for the vendor. a win-win. In any case, the Trade-Off Challenge tool is a great way to challenge your team to use the creative thinking you know they have. The scenarios I laid out for you may seem obvious, but even the highest performing teams and most forward-looking leaders can fall into the trade-off trap when demands are high, time is tight, and resources scarce. Having the trade-off challenge in place helps develop a habit of challenging our norms and ensuring we are always a step ahead. Please join me in creating comfort in the workplace by respecting team members and demanding excellence.